All right, well, that was very ugly if we're being completely honest, but Rangers win, baby, 4-1 over the Arizona Coyotes, and they finally respond back with a win, and very undeservedly so. And I'm left 2 nights in a row now asking, what is the point of the process when the process does not work? Because the Rangers, night in and night out, outshoot the opposing team, look dominant, look like the better team at times, and they still lose the game 90% of the time. Tonight, instead, they get outshot, they get outworked for the most part, and they still end up winning the game somehow. It makes no sense at this point. What is the point of the process if it doesn't work? I don't get it, but we're going to talk about this game because there's a lot to unpack here, sorta. I mean, it was kind of a boring game if we're being quite honest, and a very one-sided game when it came to officiating as well, which we'll talk about. But before we jump into it, be sure to leave a like on the video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans, and turn on your notifications too so you know when I upload a video next. But that first period, if that didn't put you to sleep, I don't know what will, because that was the most boring period of hockey I think I've ever watched in my entire life. No, seriously, I think that tops any of the periods that they played against Nashville last year. I think that tops most of the game against Vancouver last year, not the game where Demko ended up robbing us without having his equipment on. No, the other game when they played at home, started to come back late. You remember that game, right? This beats all of that. This was a very boring period of hockey, and it took until 10 minutes in for the Rangers to actually get a shot on goal, I think. I mean, they didn't have one for 10 minutes, and neither team was getting opportunities, really. Coyotes muffining some shots, if that's a word. They threw some muffins on net. They're peppering shots. That's the right way of putting it. They were throwing some shots on net, but it's not like there were any high danger chances that Igor had to make some big saves on until the Rangers took their first penalty of many tonight as Ryan Lindgren went off for high sticking. That was the first, like I said, of many penalties, but that one, couldn't really argue. Igor got tested a bit on the penalty kill there, and he came up with a couple big saves. Trouba then went off for roughing. This was the first questionable call of many of the entire night, as he was just in a bit of a puck battle there. I don't remember who it was with, but he was in a bit of a puck battle, and for whatever reason, apparently because the helmet popped off, let's call a roughing penalty. I guess that's how that works now. Sure. I just want to know, what's the point of the rule where if someone's helmet pops off and they don't go to the bench, there's a penalty, if we're just going to call roughing penalties when we see a helmet pop off? It doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. It is what it is. Lindgren got a chance of coming out of the penalty box, and that's pretty much all that happened after that. I mean, the Rangers held on for the penalty kill pretty strong there, so not too bad. Igor then, though, after the penalty kill, had to make a monster save in front to rob the Coyotes. I don't remember who it was, but made a big save in front. Igor made another big save after, as there was a shot that almost got deflected in, and then Hayton and Trocheck ended up taking roughing penalties each, 4-on-4, and nothing happened at all on the 4-on-4. Like I said, very boring period here. And Valmaki went off for holding. Mika Zibanejad had a one-timer opportunity that was stopped. That's pretty much it. Trouba fumbling the puck at the blue line. You know the usual there. And that was pretty much it for the period. Just a sad period because they were outshot 17-4 in the first period. Yes, you heard me correct. 17-4 to the Arizona Coyotes, who both are coming off a back-to-back. Yes, I know. But come on. Are you a cup contender or not? It's just sad. And the Rangers, even in the second period, looked absolutely sloppy to start. Couldn't make any clean tape-to-tape passes. Couldn't break through the neutral zone. I mean, forget it. Both teams looked like they were trapping tonight because, my God, nobody was going through the neutral zone at all. Igor then made another big stop on Troy Stetros. The defense just got absolutely walked there on that sequence. Schneider then with a couple good blocks as the Yotes pressured. And Laffy got a shot on goal. That was the first shot on goal of the entire period, I think. And that was stopped with the glove, but the Rangers couldn't get anything going on. Igor with another stop on Lawson Krause off the rush. Kakko got in front for an opportunity that he couldn't get a good enough shot off. That was a rebound opportunity. Carpenter that got a chance backdoor, and he elects to take the dumbest penalty you ever could take, 200 feet from your own net, and you decide to take a very dumb interference penalty. That one is one that I couldn't argue with as well. That was just a dumb penalty there, and yeah, that killed any momentum that the Rangers were starting to get. But the Rangers actually did have a good penalty kill. They got an odd man rush, shorthanded opportunity on an odd man rush, 2-on-1 opportunity, Goudreau and VC, but VC got denied on his opportunity. and the Rangers got another offensive zone penalty as Trocheck went off for interference. Wasn't sure about this one. I don't know if I agreed with that one at all. Kind of looked like the two of them collided, but sure, let's call an interference there. It is what it is. That official, it was the one on that one side in particular who drove me insane the entire night, which we'll talk about the worst of the calls very soon. But Kreider got a shorthanded chance as well, denied there. Igor then had to make a huge stop on Clayton Keller, and the Rangers, though, ended up going up 1-0 somehow, some way, even though they were getting outplayed. Valimaki with just a garbage turnover right in front. Connor Ingram decides to tap the puck right over the Barcagujo. Barcagujo says thank you, and he buries that one right in front of the net. 1-0 game, very late into the second period, and unassisted goal, but we take it. Right after that, there was a missed holding call on Kakko, but again, it is what it is. But the Rangers ended up scoring, so it didn't matter as the Rangers started to finally get the pressure going. They gained momentum after that goal, and they end up having a nice little cycle there. Hedel and Panarin pick up the assist on this goal as Adam Fox walks the Arizona Coyotes defenseman, and he just walks right in and shelves one on Connor Ingram. 2-0 game. Rangers then finally actually showed some life. They had VC get a chance, and then Mika got a breakaway opportunity and couldn't get it at all, a good enough shot off or anything on goal there. But Connor Ingram out of the crease completely, and Mika Zibanejad ever so slightly taps into Connor Ingram, and he goes flopping, which, listen, as a Ranger fan, we've seen it with Igor Shesterkin. I know it's ironic and hypocritical to say it because we have with Igor Shesterkin. He has been a diver at times, but my God, I mean, give him a Grammy there because Connor Ingram with some great acting there, or an Oscar, whichever one it is for acting. I don't know the awards, sure, but yeah, great acting there by Connor Ingram, and that had a bit of confetti gloves a bit there. Nothing really crazy that broke out, and somehow Mika Zibanejad took a goaltender interference penalty in this entire sequence. Meanwhile, later in the game, we'd see Igor Shesterkin get ran a bit, and they call a penalty on Ryan Lindgren, but sure. And Igor was in the crease on that, but again, sure. Richie then ended up negating that either way as he went off for a tripping Trocheck, and that one they almost didn't even call. The ref on the other end of the ice had to make that call because the one, again, on that end of the ice was just being absolutely idiotic tonight. And again, Richie then went off for tripping, and the Rangers, they had a shorthanded look before that, but again, they draw a penalty. But that was pretty much it that happened in the second period. Rangers had a way better period. They actually showed a lot more life. They got their legs under them for the most part in the, especially towards the middle of that period. 14-9 in favor for the Rangers in shots for that period. And again, it was hard. It's hard to do a lot when you're playing a lot of the game shorthanded. And it was hard for the Rangers to find their game. But at the same time, you ask, when is going to get these guys prepared to start on time? Because it is happening time and time again that these guys are not showing up prepared right away. And the third period, Hedel makes a nice little play in the offensive zone to set up Kakko early. That got denied. And the Rangers' power play ended up being awful that they got because it was a 4-on-4, and then it was a power play for a bit, and the Rangers got no good looks there on the power play at all. Bukestad, though, went off for tripping, and the Rangers would do something on this power play as the Rangers cycle the puck very well. Kreider ended up getting a chance in front. That ended up getting denied. But again, the Rangers get back to work. Adam Fox gets it across to Mika Zibanejad, who makes a beautiful setup pass to Chris Kreider, who deflects it in, and that made it a 3-0 game. Then we have the sequence where, again, Igor Shesterkin got ran a bit, and he looked a little shaken up, and he looked like he struggled a bit at times later on in the game to get up quicker, which kind of concerned me. I hope he's not hurt, and I'm hoping that nothing happened from that play because he looked a bit off after that. But Lindgren ended up taking a hooking penalty, and due to the fact that it was the Coyotes' sixth power play, they were bound to score at some point, and the Rangers just had a brutal turnover that allowed the Coyotes to continue cycling the play in the zone, and that made it a 3-1 game, as I think it was Keller who ended up sniping that one in, so that made it a 3-1 game. And then you had a penalty on the Coyotes there. Kreider got a chance backdoor. That was not good enough of a shot, though. And the second power play came on, and that unit did absolutely nothing. And then Schneider ended up just throwing one on goal. VC ends up getting the assist on this. And Ryan Carpenter, of all people, gets his first goal as a Ranger, tips that one in. 4-1 game, and the Rangers controlled play pretty much for the rest of the way through, and they end up holding on to win this game. Shots in the third, 6-9, nice in favor of the Rangers. Shots in the game, 32-27 in favor of the Coyotes. 62-39 in favor of the Coyotes in the faceoff dot. Again, yeah, the Rangers got dominated in every aspect of the game. Power play went 1 for 4 tonight. Again, the power play needs to be a bit better for the Rangers. Coyotes power play went 1 for 6. Hits 31-19 in favor of the Rangers. Block shots 17-13 in favor of the Rangers. Giveaways 14 for the Rangers, 13 for the Coyotes. They need to be a bit better here when it comes to the defensive lapses, because they were not great tonight. And we're going to talk about each line, which there's not a lot that was great tonight, if I'm being completely honest. The first line, Kreider, Zibanejad, and VC was decent. I mean, Kreider had a couple good opportunities, most of them on the power play. Zibanejad had opportunities, all of them on the power play. Jimmy VC, I thought, was actually the best guy on that line. I thought he did some nice things on the penalty kill. I thought he did some great things offensively, too. I thought he actually had a very solid game, and I still agree with him being on the first line. I think he should be in the bottom 6 with the way that he plays, but he still had a very solid game. Ended up picking up a point in this one as well. Not going to complain. I thought he had the best game 5-on-5, I should say, at the very least, when it came to that line. Kreider and Zibanejad, there were times where they were trying to do too much, and especially going through the neutral zone. This became a theme with the Rangers all night, but with those two especially, they were trying to do too much. And if you want to talk doing too much, Artemi Panarin as well. And then it was originally Barker Goudreau on the line with Panarin and Trocheck, but they ended up switching it to Sammy Blais, and it looked good at times. I mean, there were times they actually had some nice offensive zone pressure, especially late in the game. I thought they looked better, but early on, oh boy, they were horrendous, spending way too much time in the defensive zone, and they looked awful. But I will say they got some of the offensive zone going. Trocheck, I thought, had a decent game, played a bit more physical tonight, didn't get a lot of shots on goal, had too many penalty minutes, looked good in the faceoff dot at least, which was nice because we need somebody to look good since nobody else was looking good in the faceoff dot. 54% for him. Good for you, Vinny Trocheck. Thought he played pretty decent. And then Panarin, he had a couple turnovers I didn't like. There was one especially where it led to a Coyotes rush the other way where Igor had to make a stop. And yeah, he just left it pass right in the middle of the offensive zone, and they turned the defense into offense there. I didn't like that. And then Blais, he does not belong in the top 6 at all. And he only had 8 minutes of ice time either way. So make of that what you will. And then the third line, the kid line, Lafreniere, Hedl, and Kakko. I thought they looked slow to start the game, but they found their legs just like the rest of the team later on, but especially them. I thought that they looked great towards the end of the game. The beginning, though, I wasn't a fan. I thought Kakko was trying to do too much, especially. I didn't like Kakko's game early on, but I thought it got better as the game went along. Had a pretty good scoring opportunity as well. Hedl, I thought, played a pretty solid game, and he's been driving the offense. Unfortunately, he wasn't good enough in the faceoff dot to the point where Lafreniere was taking faceoffs, and he was 50% the faceoff dot. There you go. Threw a couple hits. You remember one monster hit from Laffy, but there was a time too in the third period where he had a great scoring opportunity, and I'd like for him to be a bit more selfish at times because there are way too many times with Laffy where he's just passing up these shooting opportunities, and it's like, why are you doing this? You're the number 1 overall pick. How about you actually show why and shoot the puck there? It is what it is. And then the fourth line it looked a lot better when Barker Goudreau was there. I'll say that. Carpenter, Goudreau, and Gauthier definitely belongs on the fourth line. He looks a lot better on the fourth line, and he also kind of controls that line when he's there. He's more the source of offense, which I like for Gauthier. Didn't really do too much tonight. That was noticeable. Only got 6 minutes of ice time. That is not good, and that shows you that the Rangers were way too top heavy tonight. It definitely was backed up, but at the same time, they spent most of the game shorthanded as well, so there you go. But Julian Gauthier, I thought, was okay. Nothing too great. And then Barker Goudreau, pretty good game for him, though, all around. Was blocking a lot of shots. Went 50% of the faceoff dot, which I like. Had a goal as well. And I thought that he was one of the better forwards of the night. That is for sure. Carpenter actually had a pretty decent game. There were some boneheaded plays that he made here and there. But for the most part, he had his best game as a Ranger. Actually did some things productively, offensively. But I mean, the turnovers were absolutely unreal. Best game of the as a Ranger, but it doesn't say much. He didn't have that great of a game. So let's make that clear and not act like, because there's a reason I tweeted earlier in the game that they should waive the guy. Let's put it that way. But yeah, and the penalty that he took was absolutely moronic. But for the defense, Lindgren and Fox, I thought were the best D pair. Lindgren took too many penalties, but one of them I can't blame him. That was just a horrendous call. Adam Fox still looked great tonight. I thought he was one of the only defensemen and one of the only players early on that actually showed any sort of care in the game. Lindgren had a couple bad plays early on, but again, like the entire team, got better as it went on. Miller and Trouba were a bit better tonight than they were last night. Still weren't anything too great, but again, they were a bit better. Trouba with a shot on goal to the goalie's chest, which is progress considering he misses the net. And then Keandre Miller threw a nice little hit in the game too, which you like to see, I guess. But nothing too great from that defensive pair. I still think they should be split up, and I still think that we could get more from them. But they're not going to break that pair up. And then Hayek and Schneider. I thought Schneider had to carry the weight there of that defensive pair. I thought Hayek had a pretty brutal game. To be completely honest, there was one defensive play that he made that was nice in the first period, and that was pretty much it. Didn't really do anything else. Schneider blocked a lot of shots, ended up getting a point in this one as well, and he had to carry the weight of that defensive pair because, yeah, Hayek was that bad to the point where it ended up being that way. And then Igor had probably one of his better games than we've seen in a very long time, which you love to see. Got that save percentage back up to a 915. Again, 2 thumbs up for me. Love to see Igor getting back on track here. Maybe he likes facing a lot of shots. I don't know. But he definitely looked a lot better tonight. But this game, I'm overall not too thrilled with it. Even though they won, you take the 2 points and run with it. And I don't know. I'd feel better if they won yesterday's game and then lost this game, even though it's to the Coyotes. It's just the fact that, like, what's the point of out shooting the other team and the process when it doesn't work? Like I said at the beginning of the video, I don't get it anymore. It doesn't make sense to me, but we'll see what happens as it goes on. Will the Rangers actually, are they going to just play this way now? Because it seems like that's the only way they win, when they get outshot and look dominated. It seems like that's the only way they win hockey games. I don't get it anymore, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Would love to hear from you guys, your thoughts on this game. Thank you guys so much for watching this one. If you did enjoy, remember to leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans as well. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload a video next, and I will see you in the next one. Let's go, Rangers.